The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Long before the sects divided, there was the enveloping darkness. It was in this dark humanity learned to trust the light, to run from shadows, and most importantly, to fear.
Brutality and superstition walked hand in hand in this dark time, but also hope. Hope that the heroes of this age could hold back the monsters and illuminate the path through the shadows.
The children of Cain are no different. Some run from the shadows, some turn to the light, and some become the monsters of legend passed down from one hearth to another.
Their story is one of loss, one of struggle, and one of death. For what can survive in the wake of those that cannot die?
This is what it means to be a myth made flesh. This is what it means to be a vampire in the Dark Ages.
Welcome to our Vampire Dark Ages stream. We here at McStabber Studios understand that some of the subjects that come up during this chronicle are problematic by modern standards. Our goal is to handle these kinds of situations in a manner that does not directly or indirectly glorify these kinds of actions. While we understand that we are playing in a world of monsters, that does not mean we must be the monsters ourselves. Please also be aware, none of our cast are experts in history. That means there will be some deviations between the real world timeline and the vampiric world. You can go ahead and chalk that up to the Cainite influence on the mortals around them. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy our story. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to McStabber Studios' Vampire Dark Ages Glimpses of History. I am, of course, the storyteller, Shaggy McStabber.
And I am Mama McStabber, and I am playing Elena Thorndaughter of Clan Nasumber.
I am Zachary Naldright, he, him. Tonight I will be playing Miguel Tanner, also he, him, of Clan Gangrel.
I'm Junie Varnish, and I'm playing Peregrine McSullivan of Clan Assamite.
Hello, I'm Maddox, and I'll be playing Snatcher of Clan Nosferatu.
Welcome, everybody.
Hey. Oh, okay. I don't get an intro?
Yeah, no, you don't get
cool.
one.
That's
Fuck
cool.
you.
That's cool. Okay.
Salt is struck back. No, go ahead. My bad. I'm out of it this week.
Yeah, it's all right. You know what? I'm just the Ravnosark, and I'm only playing Agustin Diego de la Cartagena Cardano de la Cruz of Clan La Sombra. You know, that's the only one I've played.
Maybe that's why I was trying to stop that. Maybe. This is going to be a night where we're going to see what the players manage to pull over on me because my brain is fried. So who knows what the hell's going to happen, but welcome to the season finale. For anyone who knows, this is live and we do it in one take, one way or another.
We do.
Yep. Fuck it. We're doing it live, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have people here for our season finale. It's been a hell of a season so far. Last episode, well, they found out the rats ran away. The rats are going after the werewolves, which, you know, hey, we'll go with that. But really the important thing from last episode was Mancado showing up. And they had to deal with
that guy.
More like Mongullible.
They had to deal with Cardinal Maledictus Sanguinus, which is pretty fucking, you know, on the too on the nose for a vampire name.
No subtlety with it.
No subtlety at all. None. And yes, Maddox, Snatcher down there is still happy he managed to lie to Mancado and got away with it. With a pool half the size of Mancado's,
That's why I can be proud.
But as we're kicking off this episode, Mankato did only stay the night. He set out the next day, probably to cause trouble in the villages on the Kievan Roost side of the pass. Probably, because, it's him. He always causes problems. And as we open up tonight, it's been over a month since we last were with these Canaanites. And it is getting closer to winter, though it looks like you're on schedule. You're on track to get your first level finished. You figure there's not much, you've only got less than a month left, but really the first level's built. Now you have the workers putting a temporary roof just to keep the snows from piling up on what's been built, just to keep it easier to deal with over the winter, because there's a lot of snow in the Carpathians. So as we're opening up, we're going to open up with you all waking from your day sleep.
Not that it would necessarily matter for us too much, but I'm guessing since it's nearing winter, it's actually starting to get proper cold now.
Yes, the temperature is noticeably dropped. You thankfully have been having only rain, a lot of it lately. It has not been freezing yet, but it has been quite a bit of rain. As we're starting tonight, it's actually not rainy anymore. It's just a cloudy night, but it's been raining quite a bit. And with the rains, of course, were thunderstorms, even though you didn't have what you would consider normally thunderstorm weather.
Yeah, I'll immediately just go check on my rats. And did I manage to get the spawning pool established, or?
You're trying. I mean, it takes. Right. You got to wait for them to
it's still just a month, so I know. But
as you're coming out of your area, Sharazina is waiting right outside the door tonight.
Elena walks to her. Says, "What is it?"
Mistress, we received a messenger bird this morning. Count Radu is on his way to the fortress.
Excellent. We are right on target for him.
He estimates he'll be here in a handful of days.
Good. How have the levies been?
We've done pretty well with it. We've been sending some of it, of course, back to Prince Radu as stuff we couldn't use in the construction. We've done pretty well. We did have an incident this morning with a lay priest.
What did this priest do?
He said that he was coming through and he refused to pay the levy because the church does not pay a levy.
Who says?
That's what he claims.
Did he pass without paying?
No, we ended up collecting the levy from him, though he did mention something about he will be reporting it to the Pope.
Excellent. I'd love to see the Pope get his fat ass off his fucking throne and come out here.
Mistress, I don't think that would work well.
Exactly. He can go and complain to his Pope all he wants. There's no people here of any importance that he can excommunicate.
Yes, mistress.
It's fine, and besides, once we meet Radu's approvals on what we have done, it's no longer our problem.
We don't really care. Eastern Orthodox,
exactly.
Those that follow it don't really listen to.
No.
They don't really listen to the Italian Pope.
No. As I said, I'd love to see him get his fat ass off his throne and come out here to the Carpathians. He wouldn't last a week.
Especially not now with the cold.
Exactly.
It has
It's
been
not
getting
built for it.
colder.
His blood would turn to ice in his veins.
I don't even think we have proper cushions for him to sit on out here.
No. Oh, forbid he'd have to actually live like a commoner.
Mistress, I've known a number of clergy in my time. Not many of them, unless they're a village priest, understand what living like a commoner's like.
That is their folly. They do not understand those they minister to.
The stonemason has departed, ma'am. He said that his work is done. All that is left, of course, for this season is stuff that the woodworkers are working with the laborers.
Excellent. And I see the chapel has really done well with its finishing.
Yes, mistress.
Good.
We've done good timing here now that we were able to keep the crew working full time.
Mm-hmm. Any issues with the workers?
No, mistress. The money they were being given was more than enough for them to stock up their villages.
Good.
They used, of course, we still have one of our carts missing that for a next load of food that they were gathering to store for the winters, but they'll return it when after they transport everything.
Of course they will. Any issues with our guards?
No, mistress.
Good.
Not with this current batch.
Good. I do love when things are managed well.
I'm going to go and do the rounds and make sure everything's okay for tonight, mistress. I will leave you to
Excellent. Thank you.
your business.
Thank you, Charlazina.
And she goes off to do what she started doing it each night, which is checking in with each of the laborers in the group to make sure everything is fine as they're settling in.
Goodness, Augustine. Those Western European Catholics are just something else.
They are very interesting people. Should I get to Miguel so we can talk about Radu?
Yes, because he is expected within a few nights.
Very well. And I'll go pick up Miguel and bring him back.
Does Sister Luminita relay any of this information to Miguel?
She does let you know that she didn't call him a lay priest. She called him one of the traveling priests came through who refused to pay the levy, even though this is Eastern Orthodox land. She doesn't think that he's going to be able to tell the Pope anything because he's so far down the chain, no Pope would listen to him. If he gets a meeting with the Pope, he would have been traveling with a lot bigger entourage, for sure.
So it was just him?
Him with two other priests, no guards.
Did they visit the chapel at all during their stay?
No, Brother Miguel. They seem to be in a hurry to get somewhere.
I see. And then as Augustine arrives, he will greet him and follow.
And when they arrive, Alina says, "Oh, good, Miguel. Wanted to let you know. Radu will be arriving in 3-4 nights."
So that means we will be leaving here shortly.
Indeed.
Good. Get antsy being in one place for too long.
I get antsy being on territory that isn't mine. So it will be good to leave this place and find a home.
Agreed.
Don't foresee us being that far away from Radu, given how invested he is in this whole endeavor.
I'm sure not. But if the city is given for us to rule as we see fit, is it not our home?
This is true.
I'm just cautious on this one. There's always strings attached.
Of course.
He'll have a string to us some way or another.
Of course.
We're not done with him yet, unfortunately.
No. Not until someone else decides they are done with him.
Interesting idea.
That is how these things have always worked.
Look, when you're running around against somebody doing things for over 500 years, sometimes you don't get to see the entire thing, all right?
I understand that, but yes, with the dragons, oftentimes if an outsider attacks a dragon, all the dragons come together to fight the outsider. But the dragons fight amongst themselves a lot.
Valid.
And sometimes dragons cull their own.
I wonder if we could help his culling a little sooner then.
Perhaps. If it is a smart dragon, they will know to utilize efficient tools.
So on a scale from 1 to dead, how do you think he's going to rate?
Oh, definitely dead one day.
Okay, good.
I'll come back from checking on the rats at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, if anything is big of the devil and he shall appear, we have Micah Vikos' very close friend in Snatcher. He could turn one dragon against another.
Snatcher's not even disguised right now, so you see him bare his incredibly sharp lizard teeth.
I do not see Micah doing that yet. He is young still and collecting his favors. Give him a few centuries and then that might be an option.
Find a different diplomat if that's the case.
Do not
dislike
worry.
dealing with
Do not
Vikos.
worry, Snatcher. I took his ring on purpose. I will be the one he interfaces with from now on.
Micah is a fascinating individual from a distance.
He's a fop.
From a distance.
Aye, and weapons do travel distances, do they not?
Indeed.
I wish for some advice from all of you.
Sure.
Aye.
What should I do with the rats? If I leave them to propagate on their own, they could well become a nuisance, but to do nothing with such resource seems wasteful. But I don't think bringing them along once we leave is the correct course either.
Why not?
Yeah.
You have already trained them.
If they are trained, bring them with you.
Think about it. How much information you're going to get with just using them in the new
They
place.
can
You'll be finding out.
scout anytime.
Hey,
I was going to also see if I could utilize some bats, but they're harder to get.
Especially this time of year.
Why would you start all over with the ghouling process when you already have stock?
It is more to add to the stock than to redo.
If you want to focus on some bats, I suggest you do that after we settle in our new city.
Wherever the fuck that may be.
The
You
bats
care
are
about-
attracted also to civilization to an extent because of the lights in the night that attract the insects that they eat. Please, Miguel, I'm sorry.
Do you give a damn about what happens here once you leave?
Aside from the fortress itself, I don't really care. I'm going to be bringing all of my other ghouls with me.
if you don't see the value in leaving a ghoul behind that can get anywhere in the fortress, then by all means, take him with you.
You could leave a couple here as spies.
My only
No.
concern would be maintaining the blood oath.
You
With
don't have
something
to
that
keep
small?
the ones here as ghouls.
Come back once a month or once a year.
Or send, have a rat basically every so far in villages and things like that they can communicate back and forth amongst each other. And it
Little
can follow a
network.
chain to you.
If I leave Bogdan here, he can actually be a very decent informant. Everyone talks to the chef at some point.
That is true.
And he is a local, so it would not tear him from his home.
That is a good idea as well.
But would it also leave him vulnerable, as he is now, I'm fairly certain, the only Transylvanian from the village left? Well, no, he is from the Transylvanian side. My apologies.
I don't think so. If anything, it would empower Radu to keep him around.
Perhaps you ask him what he wishes to do. It is something you can consider. Doesn't mean you will do what he wants, but you will consider what he actually would wish.
And then I will... You won't see the rats, but they will be with us.
Okay. I do not mind them. I see their utility.
I'm trying to plan ahead as to how to run a city. I have never run anything before.
Make sure you tell him that you wish for him to speak truthfully and not to tell you what he thinks you want to hear. If he is bound to you, he will instinctively want to tell you what he thinks you want to hear. So basically, order him to speak honestly when you ask.
Very well.
Just my advice, as someone who has had these retainers for a long time.
A slow process.
Indeed. But you learn quickly.
So, do you all have any special preparations you're making?
Yes, actually.
That's what I have to ask.
I'm getting together as much pitch as I can.
Okay.
Elena has been speaking with the workers off and on to see if any might be interested in leaving the village life.
There's a few of the younger laborers that might be willing to move. You will have to get permission from Radu because there is no freedom of movement technically in this era for those that are considered subjects under a given lord.
Technically, they are Roos. They are not his.
Not by his considerations.
His consideration can stuff it.
I am just pointing out.
Elena will tell him so too, because they are her people, not his.
It's going to be a good scene with Ragu.
That will be a concession that he will give her.
If you say so.
Yes, I do.
Any other preparation before he arrives?
I imagine throughout, since he knows that he's going to be leaving, between him and Sister Luminita, there's been someone he's been trying to find to train to watch over and administer the chapel once they leave.
You've managed to get one of the priests from the nearby village. He's willing to take over the chapel because, let's be fair, it's better to live in the fortress running the chapel than it is in a village that is dirt and cobbled together huts. So it's not hard to find out.
So yeah, and with the knowledge that Radu is to arrive shortly, he's just going to make sure that going over any final steps that this priest has to make sure everything's in place.
Okay. Any other
Peregrine
prep?
will. Yep. Peregrine will actually, anyone that wants to leave for Elena will be helping them to, shall we say, beefing up and get ready to fight if they need to. Also, Peregrine has her own art collection that she's been maintaining and creating for Radu. I almost said Ragu. And trying to buy favor with him because she's supposed to be Toreador. So what's better than artwork and all that fun stuff that she can write and make?
Got it.
So she's not coming up shorthanded.
I'm gonna see if there's any like small iconography or accoutrement that are allied with like the Eastern Christian philosophy, so I can put those in the little alcoves on the Transylvanian side where the wolf had us put his stuff.
You've had access to stoneworkers, carpenters, and I'm sure because even though they don't do most of the work, they're mainly watching over while the actual ones do a lot of the manual work. So I will say that there was enough time for them to have made those kind of things.
Okay.
The blacksmith that we had brought over able to teach others so that it wasn't just one blacksmith for an entire fort?
He's already gathered up 3 apprentices. You all are paying good money. So he's bringing apprentices in from his city that he came from, as a matter of fact. You know, spread the money around, right? One of them, you're pretty sure is his son based on, they kind of look awful close. So we're going to skip a few days ahead to when you see the procession coming up. And unlike Micah Vikos, who traveled with a very large procession, Count Radu, you see coming up with less than a dozen people and only 2 wagons. He's not riding in anything special. He's on one of the horses.
If no one objects, could I ride out to meet him?
That's
then I'll get on. I'll get on.
Take somebody with you. Buddy system.
Let him come to us.
Very
well. If he needs to be greeted, a servant can do that.
Then I will stay with the group.
Okay. So as you're waiting for him to come up, as always, he's his outfit is almost foppish by modern standards. His shoes are long and kind of pointy-toed, curled up at the ends. His outfit is garish colors. For Augustine, who spent quite a time in the Spanish court, you would have marked him as a courtier, not as one of the court hangers-on, not an actual anybody of importance. But as he rides up to the gate, the guards that are on the gate open it for him. They don't even wait for him to hail or anything. And as he rides in, he gets down off his horse and looks over at his men and will be here for a few hours. Just rest the horses, get them fed now. And you can hear the sharp edge of command in his voice. But when he turns to you all, he's all smiles. Greetings. It's good to see you all again.
Count Radu.
Elena, your beauty shines even in the dark.
Flattery will get you nowhere. The fortress, does it meet your requirements?
I'm looking here. Yes, you seem to have. We're not quite at winter. It's not quite done, but it is close enough that definitely I will consider our deal has been fulfilled.
Excellent.
Please, do we have somewhere we can talk
Of course. Follow
indoors?
us.
I know we may not be living, but riding a horse that long is still quite it leaves you sore. Need rather nicer environments to discuss things.
Of course.
And he looks over, there's a young woman, maybe 19. He looks over, you didn't notice her at first. She must have been the one, there was a cloaked one on the wagon. Dear, get yourself something to eat. He looks over, that is to be my new bride, of course.
Of course. Please, come this way.
And he follows you. I assume somewhere in the in the fortress. And as you're walking, he's looking over. Very nicely done. I can see the influence of the master architect.
Woven throughout every plan and design.
I can see that. It bears striking layout to my fortress.
There is some variation, but a similar structure for sure.
We had to work with the landscape.
Yes, I've noticed. I see a decided lack of hidden passageways, unlike mine, but a different purpose for this fortress. This one I do not think is meant to house Canaanites. Not long term.
No, it is meant to house an army.
I do thank you for sending me those tablets.
Of course.
Still haven't managed to decipher any of them, but they are a nice addition to my collection. Did you find anything else like that during your construction project?
No.
Okay. I need to get a roll from Elena there.
There was nothing else like that.
It's true.
Yeah, she's not lying in any way but omission.
I will happily step forward if I see him give her a look. I'm like, like that, no. But there are wolves.
There you go. That's a good distraction.
Speaking of,
not like the tablets. No.
no,
I'll let y'all slide on that one then. With that, wolves, you say,
and rats that can take the man shape.
Yes.
So that you are aware.
Speaking of wolves, were there any casualties? I've noticed 2 of the guards I sent with you are not here.
I sent them back to you. They were ridiculously just horrible at their jobs. I know you sent them as spies.
The word is cowards. They were cowards.
They were cowards.
Radu. We have no need for those types of men here.
I mean, if they're going to spy on us, at least be good at playing the role of God.
They did not arrive back in Bistras. It's no matter. I will have their families executed.
I'm going to try to detect bullshit on him because Elena heard something else about those 2.
Okay. You can roll your. It's going to be a perception, probably, maybe wits.
I'm going to go with wits.
I'm looking here to
maybe
see.
Expression.
Yeah.
For reading his expression.
No. Well, let me see.
Or
here.
subterfuge.
Is this an expression more of writing
or speech?
I always thought it was any way for you to
communicate.
express
right? So
yourself.
it doesn't work as well for that.
But maybe subterfuge.
Yeah, I'll let you use.
To read his lies.
I will let you use subterfuge.
Yeah. I'm going to go the exact opposite way, and I'm going to go, Radu, Prince Radu, forgive me. Could they have been casualties of Mitru? I hear that he is quite the nuisance.
Oh, they could have. It's hard to tell. And please, you can call me Radu. You do not have to stick me with my titles out here. Out here, we are just allies.
I have 6 successes.
6 successes? He wasn't
This is a
lying,
no.
but he wasn't telling all the truth.
Just as a note, Bossenberg is past Vistra, so they wouldn't have ran into each other.
Okay.
Right. But he's not
I don't
telling
know,
the
I don't
whole
know
truth,
geography
Elena.
out here.
Mm-hmm.
He's hiding
that guy.
something, but you don't know what.
I'm certain there's, no reason why you wouldn't see fit to kill their families. They were inefficient at their job you assigned them.
No, I haven't killed them yet.
Hmm.
And they will be dead upon my return. You mentioned wolves, though.
Yes, wolves that can take the shape of men.
Your guards did not guard when they arrived. I've seen children less afraid of bugs than these men were of them.
Yeah, we have dealt with these werewolves before. I thought we'd had wiped them out in this area. I guess we weren't as thorough as we expected. The stories you could have some of these peasants tell, handed down, of course, from a few generations back, of the glorious fights we used to have with them.
Yes, well, the peasants on the Transylvanian side took off with the wolf men deeper into the valley.
There are 2 less villages on that side, unfortunately.
Yes.
Well, if I
Apparently
locate
they were
any of them,
sloppy with their candles.
if I locate any of them, I will have them flayed and hung outside of my castle.
As you wish.
There must be a message that if you wish to relocate, you must speak with me first.
Good you bring that up. I have some young men from the Rus side of the pass that I seek to take with me when we go to our city.
Why would you wish to take my subjects?
They are from my homeland. They speak my language. I will be in a land of foreigners to me.
Well, our main deal we have already had our discussions on. What can you offer me to allow you to take property that is rightfully mine?
Well, I can ensure that if the time comes where we must leave the city you have given us, that they are in place to be excellent stewards under your name. Or their descendants, depending on how long.
Unfortunately, the city you're going to be given is a bit outside of my own personal reach.
Oh, then
So-
how are you giving it to us?
Because I speak for the Council of Ashes, or what is left of it. And as the numbers have been pared down, what it remains of the Council of Ashes defers to me in many things. Funny how that works.
Indeed.
And we have lost a player.
We lost Zach.
We're going to hold right here.
Yep.
And we'll give Zach a chance to come back. We'll see if he comes back. Otherwise, we will rearrange and keep playing. It happens sometimes.
I am a gangrel now. I have claws.
Feel my-
Zach has let us already know on Discord he's got a power outage. So
Okay.
I'm going to rearrange everything. Y'all won't see me rearranging until I'm done, but we're going to keep going. Just because that's how this is.
Mm-hmm.
It's live and we can't work around it. So I'm going to fix this real quick. It won't take us but a second here.
Thank you, audience, for your patience in this.
We appreciate you all.
We just do that. And then I do this.
Mama McStabber again.
Oh.
And look at that.
That's terrifying.
And now we'll just we'll fix this real quick because I have this, I get triggered otherwise. We'll turn off that. And we'll turn off as soon as I can find it. That. There we go. We will continue minus a player. That happens, everybody.
All right. Well, if that's not satisfying to you, I don't know.
How about a favor?
Done.
I will. A small favor to be redeemed at a later date.
Done. It is worth it to me to take a little bit of home with me.
Good. Diplomacy and favors, you might say, are stock and trade for our kind. So that works.
It's very kind of you to only ask for a small favor, given that you as well have to worry about a remnants of home, from what I understand of the dragons.
We're standing on my soil still.
Of course.
I don't have to worry about that. And that is also why I only try to bring my domain so far.
And this is why I still call you Prince, Radu, because you are on your home territories.
Oh, but we are friends.
Yes.
You do not have to call me, unless, of course, we are in official court capacity, which you'll find we don't generally have much in the way of official court capacity. We rule absolutely, as a ruler should.
Agreed.
For this city we will be going to, how many Cainites already preside there?
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. We've got to finish all the pleasantries before we go into the full details. I still wish to hear more about your adventures up here. I have had decidedly little information.
I am sorry, I do find it funny that your spies were so inefficient. But
Well, those were not my only spies.
I'm sure. It's just those were the obvious ones because they were so bad at their job.
Give me 1 second. Fixing this, we got somebody back, so we're going to fix it.
Glad your power's back.
Yeah.
And watch this. Boom, point. This is the beauty of my setup. I just, bam, he's back.
Yay!
Oh, my God.
They've discussed nothing of import while you were gone.
No, but Elena
Nothing.
did get her 2 people.
For a favor.
For a favor.
Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yes, there was issues with, like Augustine had said, the rats that can also take man form. They were after the wolfmen.
That's a new one to me. I've never heard of rats taking man form.
They can.
Well, aside from a few strange gangrel.
They can manipulate plague. They incited a plague within the villages on the Rus side so that the Christians would blame the pagans on the Transylvanian side and create hostilities that would destabilize the support of the wolfmen.
See, that is why the werebreeds, anything shifting form that is not of us, should be destroyed.
Yes, well, needless to say, we sent the wolfmen after the ratmen, and they killed a few of the rats, from what I understand, and then the rats killed, 2 of them? 1 of
I
them?
believe this is 1 or 2.
One
yes.
or 2. And then the wolves tucked their tails and ran like cowards.
That does not surprise me.
So, there's no more plague in the villages, because now the rats are chasing the wolfmen. We sent them to that task.
Good to hear that. Did Micah come through here on his way
Of
back?
course he did.
He told me he was most likely stopping in.
Of course he did. He paid extra levies to ensure that we were able to deliver what you requested.
Of course.
Very generous, this Micah Vitals.
He's very generous.
Very generous.
He is quite generous, especially considering most of it's not his money anyway.
Nothing spends as well as someone else's coin.
Ever since Drakon has left Constantinople, he has siphoned off a good portion of that wealth.
Yes, he passed by on his way back to Constantinople.
Well, I know you all are interested in the Promised City.
Well, first, I would like to discuss our trek to the Promised City. Will likely take us through Klausenberg again.
That is very possible. I do believe we had an arrangement that I would help you with that.
Indeed, as it is solving one of your problems.
He is not what I would consider a problem. He is an annoyance.
Hmm?
But as many things that we have dealt with over the years, annoyances can become problems if not handled correctly.
Indeed.
So, the city I'm going to give you is Belgrade. It's a medium-sized city. And you all know that particular city is actually on the one of the rivers that comes off of comes from Budapest. It's one of the tributaries that splits off it. It's actually because it's a river city. It's not big yet, but it's got good access.
It's going to be.
Getting there, I'll be fair, getting there will take you can take a little more indirect route, and you can easily get there via Klausenberg. Now, the particular city I'm going to be giving you, it is, of course, not in my territory. It is near Medash and Kronstadt, but it has a fortress built by Zelios that you are free to take. The city is yours to rule. It is a few thousand individuals. With proper stewardship, you might be able to make it into more than it is now. The previous ruler was one of the failed members of the Council of Ashes.
A Ventru?
No, the only Ventru of note was one of the Arpads, Nova Arpad. No, this was a Bruja who ran afoul of politics. I had nothing to do with it, but it seems he annoyed some of the local Nez. And they decided a new ruler would be preferable.
Storyteller, what are the Nez?
They're the equivalent of princes, but they are Transylvanian.
Okay.
So they run sections of Transylvania.
Okay.
They are not
surrounding princes, not in his city.
They're not officially recognized as princes by the Hungarian Ventru or the Council of Ashes.
They're just rulers.
But anyone who lives in Transylvania understands that as soon as you step out of a city, and some of the cities themselves, the real power is there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Indeed. That would ensure his destruction.
And I know, Peregrine, you are a Toreador who enjoys writings and books. And I am told that there's a magnificent library as part of this fortress, well stocked with vast tomes.
This pleases me greatly. I would like to be back in a wonderful library.
The former prince was quite learned.
Oh, it's good to know that at least, even though he was a Bruja, he still could be educated.
Oh, many of them.
Oh,
not all of them.
Perpetuating stereotypes.
Yes, not all of them have forgotten Carthage yet. Some are still angry.
Some have. The new ones, younger ones seem to be rather running, not as poet, more warrior.
You've met different members of the Philosopher Kings than I have.
Oh, I've had a few. They're not exactly as keen on learning anymore, more than running around and fighting.
Your or closest other Council of Ashes prince is actually going to be Marcusa of Clan Nosferatu.
Where roughly would she be located in relation?
Oh, quite a number of leagues to the southeast.
Hmm.
Almost to one of the other rivers. And for the players that are wondering, if you look in the map, Hermannstadt is her city, yes. And you're in Belgrade. And for the viewers out there, if you're on our Discord after the stream, I will post up the maps we're using, and then you'll be able to see the city they're given and all that. I figure if you all have proper stewardship of it, you should be able to collect levy as trade goes down the river, because you're one of the few decent-sized places on that river. Collect levy as they stop at your docks, as they go to move stuff into the interior. I'm sure you'll be able to extract more than enough to sustain yourselves from the city. And Snatcher, you had asked other kindred in the city. Unfortunately, I don't have that answer. I do not know how many subjects he had. That was one of the reasons he had annoyed some of the others who rule the land.
Lack of records.
I'm sure you all reach a equitable agreement about rulership over your city versus the land itself. If it comes to it, if a right of war is called, I am sure you all will carve out your respect needed to hold what you've been given.
Absolutely.
Elena, you understand
I do.
how that works here.
I do.
On the plus side, you will be far away from the upstarts that are still plaguing us.
Good.
Now,
Where are those upstarts located?
I wish I knew. They're in these mountains somewhere. But as you understand, the Carpathians are not a small amount of terrain, and it is very difficult to navigate large portions of it.
I'm well aware.
And honestly, to be fair, when it comes to hell-spawned sorcerers, they seem to have ways to hide what you're looking for. We'll find them eventually and show them the errors of their ways. I just recently rooted out one of their gatherings. Burned the building to the ground with them in it.
Excellent.
Was there resistance?
Oh, of course there was. But that doesn't matter.
Nothing
I have
impactful.
soldiers for that. Entire families to handle that. Speaking of, you brought up Klausenberg, and I seem to recall when you came to see me last time, you had an issue with that, and you'd wished for my assistance in retribution.
Of course.
Now, as you understand, as a kindred, I don't have a large conventional army, as you would call it. But I do have more than enough soldiers and troops.
Excellent.
Of the most unconventional types I can lend to you.
And if they suffer casualties, will there be insult with that?
Why would I care?
I was just checking.
I will. I like you all. I'll be honest. I'm not. The ones I send will, of course, be the younger sons, the ones looking to prove their place, the ones most hungry to find advancement.
Good.
In my service.
Those who survive will be fitting.
That is the way.
Of course.
You have to earn a position. You have to earn your fangs.
It shall be a good test.
Yes.
This is not an old dog's run, Prince Radu. This is meant for younger teeth.
Absolutely.
And this is the land beyond the forest. This is not a place where weakness is rewarded.
No.
The land is soaked in blood, and it will continue to be soaked in blood. It will be fed off it. Klausenberg is not that large, less than 1,000 people. I should be able to send you 5 scores should do it.
That should be plenty.
More than enough.
With our own and our armaments, we should be effective.
And I know you are most likely ready to be done this particular task. You will be, in the next few days, get your affairs in order. I am sending a steward to take over the rest of the construction and the management of the fortress, and of course, the levies. So if at that time you would depart and meet me in Bistris, by the time you reach me there, I should have more than enough ready for you to go so that you can ride on at your leisure.
Excellent.
And there will, of course, when you get to Belgrade, there will be at the fortress an individual there, I'm sure, that will already have been aware that you're coming and will make things ready for the new lords of the city.
Good. Who should we
Do we
expect?
have a name?
I don't know who is going to be there yet. I will find a Basarab to send that way. I'm sure you'll replace him soon enough. I see you have one.
Yes, we do. She is quite useful.
They all are. Very good at diplomacy
Mm-hmm.
of all kinds.
Yes.
So, do we have any other things to discuss? Do we have any other things we wish to negotiate about?
I believe my part in this is done. If any others wish to negotiate things with...
I want for nothing.
And this natural.
I want for nothing. Words are spoken so easily. But let's be honest, everyone wants something. Everyone is looking for something. I may not be able to give it, but you are looking. Come.
I want for nothing currently.
That's better.
When Micah passed through, he mentioned that your clan had sort of a annual demon hunt in these mountains.
Coppola's night. Yes. Yes. It is due to come up. I believe they've told us this year it will be midwinter. Would you like to attend?
I would, very much so.
I believe it would be an informative experience.
Well, as you will be recognized rulers of a city, not by that worthless Hungarian Ventru, but by proper lord of the land myself. Will extend you an invitation, and I will have messengers sent.
Excellent.
Very well.
Do not bring anyone with you that is fragile. You have nothing to fear from us, but the spirits we hunt that night.
Yes. I imagine they are quite dangerous to those who do not have a proclivity for eternity if they survive.
Yes. Those that are easily wounded don't generally fare well.
Understood.
Yes. And if you enjoy it, I will make sure you are invited every year. It is a good place to meet your fellow rulers.
Indeed. It would be good to know our neighbors.
Yes. Very good. I do wish to warn you, watch out for Yorak.
Why so?
He is not one that reacts well if he makes an offer and it is ever refused. He is very ancient even for us. And I'm sure at least some of you have heard of his cathedral he has made. Even among our kind, I find him distasteful.
That's real and not just a thing that Canaanites tell their children to scare them at night.
It is quite real. I have been there. More than once.
That is unsettling and unholy.
He is extremely powerful, but thankfully, most of the time he keeps to his own projects and does not interfere in what the rest of us are doing. And I dare say I do not know the last time anyone attempted a ritual war against him. They didn't fare well. A few of them, I think, are still part of his cathedral. You'll find it warns people quite well.
Ah, I had not heard of it, but now I understand. He has crafted one out of flesh.
Flesh, bones, blood.
Of course.
Kindred. Canaanites.
Of course.
Anything he gets his hands on that he thinks will help.
What the resourceful scamp.
Yes, resourceful. He is extremely powerful.
Of course he is. And obsessive about his hobbies.
Yes.
Noted.
He doesn't make all of the couples night, so you may be a few years before you meet him.
Or not.
Or not.
Depends on if we are lucky or not.
Yes, it depends on if he rouses himself. Most of the time, he is part of his own cathedral. It is an odd thing. Odd. Let's get off the subject. This is not something safe to discuss even here. This may be my land, but his reach
is far.
Is much greater than mine. To name something is to give it power, and I've spoke his name once. That is enough.
Here for a tour.
Well, of course. And you all take him on a tour?
Mm-hmm.
And he takes the tour, and he doesn't even stay the night. As he told his people, he was setting out in a few hours. No intention to stay here the night. His foppish outfit doesn't seem to fit. Though every time you see him speak with his servants or the woman he claims is going to be his wife.
His bride.
Or his bride.
Different.
All the genial friendliness does not exist. And as he departs later in the night, I will give you all a scene before we close this day and go to break.
My former domitor told me that some of her clan take brides. It is not a wife as mortals do. It is a warped, twisted relationship. And she did tell me, sorry, that was the ghost knocking over a bottle. It's fine, y'all.
I said your ex name and now see what happens?
It wasn't me this time.
At least we didn't say copula. Oh, shit.
There's lightning. No.
That knocked out Miguel's power. Okay, back
to the scene. But I definitely it is just a thing of the culture. It is. And some do it, especially if they are very open within the mortal society that they rule. They do it to reset, basically, to they will make themselves appear younger and take a bride and then age with the bride until she dies. And then do it all over again. But she is basically a mindless minion the whole time.
It feels like a very strange attempt at remaining human when you're very much not.
Exactly.
Noted.
Yes. As I said, it was twisted. So, I don't believe I ever would have been one that did that. Considering how hard I pushed to not marry. I murdered an entire clan of people, just about, to a man. And I basically conned a emperor into baptizing me so that we were family under the eyes of God and he could not marry me.
Those were the days.
Indeed. But yes, that is... Our neighbors are very interesting people, Augustine. Disturbing at times, but interesting.
I just learned that there is a whole cathedral made out of people.
That doesn't surprise me.
I am beginning to feel that dragon is not an appropriate term.
Perhaps fiend.
Something fiend would be very apt.
They are known in some circles as that. The old ones, the Koldunic sorcerers, they are the dragons. They see the land and the people that live on it as theirs, and treat it as such. They watch over it, protect it. But it is a cold love.
Cold love from what sounds to be a dying breed.
It is. The ones who create monsters and atrocities are becoming more prevalent. It is a different age that I have woke into. The sorcerers were far more prevalent before I went to sleep.
Oh, don't worry. There's apparently new sorcery around, and it's
That is disturbing as well. Mages stole it from Canaanites and stole their unlife from Canaanites. That is an abomination and needs to be destroyed.
Well, we leave the destruction of usurpers to betters for now.
Let them fight their battles. It is their home.
They'll have their time in the sun. It's fine.
With time and luck. What is our next step?
Prepare to leave.
Destroy me through in this village.
Prepare to leave, to head to Bistris, get our soldiers and any other supplies we may need that we do not have here.
I've stocked up on pitch. We will have plenty for whenever the city needs proper burning.
Excellent.
May even have some rats distribute it in key locations so that the fire would not go out too quickly.
That is a brilliant idea. Look at you, Snatcher. You are starting to think like a Canite.
So dangerous.
You all flatter me too much for very basic work.
Miguel, what do you think of our approach of Klausenberg?
I would like to have word with her.
Distract him.
So
I like it.
something along those lines.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I figure when we get to Bistris, I can send word from there. And we can split while I send off to go off to meet up with him.
Absolutely. I like that a lot.
Will you be safe meeting with him by yourself?
If he is honorable of clan tradition, the ways of the outlaws, then yes.
It's a big if.
I have yet to meet one of my clan who was not.
I trust you then.
Would you like somebody to have your back at least?
I don't believe it'll be necessary. But thank you for the offer.
All right.
That is an excellent idea. For sure. Lure him away from his people. Just for a conversation. And we move in.
Everything on my end is done.
Good.
I have all the books in order. all
So
the
they can
things
be
that they
taken
have.
over by whatever steward he sends.
He could do it tonight if he needed it.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a list of stuff we'll need to the new place. Because
Good.
I'm not going to already assume that it's already there.
Any horses we have not sold will be coming with us.
Put that into my calculations. We're leaving them with what they left us.
Exactly.
I have absolutely nothing that they're going to be able to do other than build.
Right.
So everything else comes with us. And I have put again an inventory list. So we'll be walking in pretty nicely in hand.
Yes. We will have our riding horses and our labor horses with the wagons. The villages are stocked. We do not need to worry about the people. And we will leave with a few more than we came with. And quite a few rats tagging along. Have you decided if you will leave the cook here, Snatcher?
He seems invested in his home. I see no reason to tear him from it. And as you said, it gives me an informant within a location I worked with.
And you just may occasionally have to pay a visit to renew your bond.
That may not be the worst thing.
Yes.
Just will do my best to not make a habit of staying out here.
Indeed.
I'm tired of the edge of civilization.
It will be nice to be back on water and in a place that can become a proper city.
I also miss the blood of humans. Rat can let one subsist, but it is not fulfilling.
No. And it will be nice to have a population where I do not even have to be sparing.
I think we built a fantastic fortress.
Absolutely. With the odds not in our favor, we still succeeded.
Shame we can't take it with us.
Hmm. No, but we have something better. Yes, there may be problems with the city we are gifted. I'm sure of it. He wouldn't have just handed away a prime location like that if it was ready to go. But we have the capability, the 5 of us, to get it into shape.
We know that the Bruja did not leave records behind, so we have to prepare ourselves to fight for control of the city.
Of course. And if I have to murder every Canite in the place, I will.
As long as we're on the same page.
It's a good thing I know how Bruja think.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Well,
it is.
And
If this one died the way I suspect they died, I doubt that one did much thinking.
Well,
how did you think it turned?
even the smartest can get caught.
How do you think I turned out the way I did?
Snatcher's doing his best to not express after you said the smart ones can still get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say he bet and he forgot to pay.
Yeah.
So somebody put a contract on him.
Yep. That is exactly likely. And I will say, just because the others have not been able to find records doesn't mean records do not exist. If there is a extensive library there that Bruja had, those records are somewhere.
Give me a week.
You'll find
I'll
them.
have them.
I know.
I'll just go, oh, there they are.
Mm-hmm.
Right in your face. Right there.
We can also look into the, how did Ragu say it, right of war?
The right of war is when the local rulers call upon neighbors and allies to protect the land. If we do not offer our aid, we are basically open to war on us. And sometimes they do fight each other that way, by calling on allies to aid them, to be the fodder. So, if we are called up because Radu needs to fight another dragon, we just need to make sure we are smart enough to live. Or unlive, whatever you want to call it.
And if she is receptive, I would very much like to reach out to the Nosferatu ruler.
Of course, I thought the same thing. You would
That
be
feels
an
like
excellent emissary.
Useful ally to have.
Of course it is. Gangrel and Nosferatu have interesting connections for information. It is always beneficial to be allies. But other clans must offer something of value to those who have interesting information networks. And I will seek to make our home of value. It has a dock. That is a start.
Fishing often provides quality goods.
And ships coming through the river.
Information travels much faster
Yes,
by river.
yes it does. It will be good. There's so much potential there, I can already see it. It will not be the first city I helped make grand.
Well, pardon me. I'm going to go and gather some rats.
And Elena's going to let the young men know to be ready.
So, anyone else? I mean, you've got a few days. I assume you're gathering up your people, getting everything in order. And right here, everybody, we're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll get the conclusion of season 1 after I sneeze. Because if I try to click the buttons when I'm going to sneeze, who knows what I click? Could be bad. So we will see everybody in 10 minutes. Enjoy the break. And then they all got killed. That's all. Didn't say who. And before the break.
The people of Klausenberg.
Before the break. Yeah, seriously. Cal Radu finally came to visit them in their castle. Not completed. The first floor was almost done, but close enough that he considered what they've done a rousing success. And he has given them the city of Belgrade. But first, before they go and assume their city, they've also agreed, or let me switch. Sorry, I've been informed I have to change something here. Hang on.
And
you're going to see
it wasn't me.
Yeah. There you go. You get to see a little behind the screen as you see the Zoom selection. There you go. They've also got an agreement to go and get 200 humans, and some of them monsters, but humans
probably
still.
Augmented, yes.
Monstrosities,
Mm-hmm.
to go and take out a city of just under 1,000 people, which the city can be burned in that way. And I know Snatcher has pitch ready to go with it. Even though, as you were last in the city, it was wooden buildings with thatched roofs. Let's just say it's a city of tinder.
Yes.
And you all did arrive at Biztriz, where Radu has thrown you a hell of a welcoming, a feast. And his way of feast is copious amounts of servants.
Excellent.
A bit of an orgy of blood for anyone who wished to participate in it, because
abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah, they're mortals.
Sounds excessive. I'll watch.
Oh, it was the height
of decadence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anything to get rid of this blood drain that I have, for sure.
It is the height of the Tzimisce power, which means it doesn't give a fuck who knows what he is, as you revel in whoever chooses to. Your undead power. And then he sends you with his troops. His troops number 30 human-looking people. Some of them you recognize by the characteristics as definitely Basarab. Some you don't recognize. They're a bit darker, skin-toned, darker of hair, a little more unkept, a little bit more of an edge of savagery to them. And then the remainder of your troops.
Elena was in Constantinople. Does she recognize?
You have heard some last names mentioned. Danislav.
Oh.
Yes.
We're getting all of those freaky families involved.
Yes, we are.
For Elena, who actually spent quite a time with Tzimisce, that would be the Revenant families bred for one purpose and one purpose only, really.
Carnage.
Yeah. War and carnage.
War and carnage.
But the other 180, I'm not going to go into too much detail.
Appreciate that.
Because of the players' various yellow and red lines. I will suffice to say they are inhuman monstrosities.
Yes, Elena has those in covered carts, so they are not seen approaching.
You can't get enough to cover them all, but some of them were quite good moving through the woods.
Good. So those that can move through the woods will do so, but those that cannot do it well will be in covered carts.
You realize
those who appear human will be facing.
Many of them almost look like a mockery of the lupine.
Yes, of course they do.
Quick question. Do they have handlers, or are we sort of expected to do that?
That is what the 20 Revenant families.
Okay. Just making sure.
They each lead
They are their generals.
Packs of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have any ways to.
We instruct the generals. They instruct their.
There seems to be one
Cool.
revenant family member per 10
Mm-hmm.
monsters.
All right. So long
Roughly.
as there's something that can control and aim them, because I
Yes.
can't work with monstrosities. Animals are my thing.
Yes.
The monstrosities,
They're still human.
they're still human.
They can take instruction.
Yeah.
But
They can talk.
yeah, but they have a handler.
Yeah.
So Elena's instructing the leaders that those who can traverse subtly through the woods should do so, to not be seen, and those who cannot need to be covered.
And some of them are designed for scouting.
Mm-hmm.
Some are designed for pure fighting. You're even been told that there's 20 of them that are to serve as your bodyguards during the fight, just in case.
Excellent.
Those are the biggest, meanest looking ones, to be fair.
Those are also the ones you don't look directly at for too long.
Non-kindred shouldn't.
And she tells Elitas, I know it is your duty, but I still am appreciative.
We serve the Prince of Bistras, and we have always served
Of
the Prince.
course. And this will be in service to him.
He has instructed us to follow your orders as if they come from him. We will not fail.
Good. I am not a fan of failure.
And the one you're talking to, he smiles, and neither is he.
You shall find my generalship agreeable then if you are used to him. And she gets on her horse.
Okay. Now, I know Miguel is arranging a meeting. Now, you've set a time and place. How far is it from Klausenberg? And I know, is it arranged to be at the same time as the rest of the group is heading to hit Klausenberg?
So yeah, he's going to try to bring Mitris north of the pass, so that he is away from the general vicinity when the group is going through.
Let's see, who are we going to go to first for their... I'm not going to have y'all... The ride there, as you know, it takes about 3 weeks to get from Bistras to Klausenberg once again. Let's see who we're going to go with first. We're going to deal with, because it's north of it, we're going to deal with Miguel's meeting first as the rest of the group. And real quick, we'll go to the group. Are you positioning your troops in any specific way, or are you just going to just turn them loose?
Do they
I
have
would have them
strategies that-
encircle the city so that no one can escape.
I mean, it'd be a pretty loose encircling, but it still can be done because, I mean,
With,
1,000 people,
it's not that big of a
not
town.
that big.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a small town.
Yeah, but 200, there's gaps, but they're monsters too, so it won't matter.
Exactly.
Okay.
They're also probably fast.
Mm-hmm.
At least the ones that were made to be.
Yeah.
I want to go into the town first because I have words to exchange with the innkeeper.
Okay, so we'll come back
After
to
that-
your group.
Whatever flies.
Miguel, at the meeting point in a forest clearing. The man who's waiting for you, taller than most, he definitely tops over 6 feet, muscled like a woodsman, somebody who's chopped trees for a good part of his life. Blonde hair, pale green eyes. His hair, not just over his head, almost his whole body's covered in hair. With hands that are, they're claw-like hands. His outfit, dirt and stained with grass and leaves. Still wearing woodsman's guard. And the bow is strapped to his back. It is strung, but he's not holding it. But he does have an axe in his hand, which he's keeping down by his leg holding the handle of it. It is a tree chopping axe. It is not an axe of war. Though I don't think anyone chopped by it would care about the distinction. You asked for a
Probably
meeting.
not. I did. When I last passed through, I did not get a chance to properly introduce myself.
Let me introduce myself. I am Wolfar, child of Mitru. He is unavailable at this time. He has sent me in his stead.
So you are not the gangrel that I am told holds domain in this land.
I am his child. I recognize you. We burned your wagons, didn't we?
None of those were my wagons.
Yes, they
They
did
were
appear to be
Radu's.
Radu's wagons. Had we known ahead of time, you were among them, we might not have attacked.
I chalk that up to Radu's failings as to not properly explain whose domain we were traveling through.
He makes that mistake a lot, as do many unfortunate individuals. Just because Mitru doesn't believe in ruling over the city like some sort of tyrant doesn't mean he hasn't laid claim to it. If he had his way, none of these cities would be much bigger than Klausenberg.
That is one way of taking things. It is definitely larger than any city that I would care to live in, though I don't typically stay in places of size for very long.
Don't tell me you feel that we should turn our back on the wild and allow these cities to grow unchecked.
I don't particularly care for the cities. As long as these cities are there and getting larger, means that there's less idiots out in the wilderness.
It encroaches on our land, our domain. They hunt more than they should. They destroy the wilderness everywhere they go, chop down the trees, mine the stone, leave behind waste from digging for ores.
This is going on in your domain.
This is going on all across Europe, not in our domain. There is a limit to the size of that city. A limit that is enforced through culling. And before you judge, I grew up in the city, and I understand the need.
If I would have my way, I would be able to stay in the town, village, and I would be able to watch it and prevent it from unnecessary growth. I've been called to do something else.
We all have to follow what that inner voice tells us to do.
Yes, let's call it an inner voice.
I still
As I'm
smell
sure
the stink of city on you.
I did just pass through Bistris, hoping a couple of days out in the woods will help get rid of that scent.
You'll find those who embrace the city are not welcome in the wilds anymore. Soon, there will be a reckoning, and you, brother, will have to choose sides.
So is that what you're doing out here? You and your sire, building an army, planning on taking down the cities around you.
We have chosen our side. We have chosen our place. We have ruled our land for centuries. We will. We will take back what was stolen.
Well, seeing as Bistris is the largest city of any note to your domain, I will, of course, keep this between us so that when the time for you to strike it comes, they will be unprepared.
When the time comes, I would hope that you would join us and return to the time when us gangrel ruled the wilderness as free princes. It is
When the
not that
time
long ago.
comes, if I am still in this area and not on the other end of the continent, I can make no promise that I won't be. I would like very much to fight side by side with you.
Then on that night, we will hunt. And we will reclaim what is ours. It is unfortunate Mitru couldn't be here. He was dealing with some things not far from here. But it has got him tied up.
But imagine,
He
how
discovered
do you
a valley with those mongrel werewolves that think the land is theirs.
really?
Yes.
Did you happen to catch the names of any of these?
Why would we care about their names?
We ran some off some months back.
These have been a problem for a few years. We had to seek some unconventional allies. They had strong magics protecting their lairs. Thankfully, Mitru understands that when it comes to nature, you use the tools available, even when not tasteful.
Any allies that I might know of?
How many usurpers do you know?
I can't say that I've had in-depth conversation with any. There's been one or two that I've met briefly in passing.
He found some that were interested in the magics that protect their layers. They call it some sort of holy place. But what they call it doesn't matter to us. What matters is that is not their land. That is not their valley. My sire will remove them.
But what is yours?
What do you mean?
You are exterminating the werewolf in your land. Is that not what you were implying?
Oh, I'll be joining him after our meeting. As I said, he was busy, but he sent me out of a sign of respect to you.
You had offered one earlier that you would extend the honor of attacking Vistris. As I inadvertently had violated your domain on my first pass through, allow me to make amends for that in assisting you.
Return here in 3 days. I will have your answer whether you can join me. I will ask Mitru.
Very well. May the knights in passing treat you well.
May the forest tremble at your passing. And he turns and starts into a long strided run towards the west. You're only about, half a day from Klausenberg.
He's probably going to, at the first chance he gets, try to find a bird to send a message ahead to Snatcher.
Okay. Now, the bird won't arrive until after their fight.
The bird's going to probably get there faster than Miguel is, unless Miguel is, because since Miguel would have had his ghouls and his own cart with him.
Let me roll something real quick. Oh, okay. I'm checking. You're looking for a bird.
Man.
There is a raven watching you.
Is it my friend Lone Feather?
Longwing, you mean? Looks like Longwing. It's got its head cocked to the same way, staring at you.
It's going to make eye contact and ask if he's enjoying the show.
Information is always good. I love information. They're going to attack the card. That'll be fun. They're in for surprises.
What do you know of the werewolves in this area?
Not much I can tell you, even now. But they've been there a while. I think their scepter will hold. For a time. The valley is a strange place. It's easy to get lost. Even for your kind. And he talks about even for my kind.
I imagine it might be. Have you had the opportunity to talk to any others of my kind since we last met?
No. Might have to. Is it rude to admit you're spying on somebody?
Well, I mean, it's probably less rude than the actual act of spying on someone. No. So, was it me you were spying on, or was it our friends that I just spoke with?
I was spying, but I was not spying. I'm going to say, since it's less rude, I was spying.
For the werewolves.
I was looking for information. You're interesting. I like finding interesting things. I didn't find you in the fortress. You left the pass. The mountains.
We did. Our time has come there. Did you ever find out what happened with the rats and our, we'll say, mutual friend, Galen?
No. Galen was quite upset, angry.
But
So I
did
left.
the rats ever find him?
I left. I don't know. I left. You'll quickly learn when their kind get angry. The safest place to be is in the air away. So I went somewhere else. Didn't find you there. So I asked around. Found you had gone to the big city.
Thankfully, for only a short time.
A lot of food there. I even
You may
found
not
some
mean
shiny
that
things.
the main way I think of it, but yes.
Where are you going?
There is a smaller city, Balgrad. Have you heard of it?
I don't care about names. Where is the city?
It is south. It is south of here, along the river.
The docks. Yes. Good food to be found there, too. I will see you there, then. At some point.
Do you have wolf brothers there to visit?
No.
Is that a no that the answer is yes and you just don't want to tell me? Or are there actually no wolf brothers in that area?
Are you saying I'm lying?
I'm saying maybe because in your line of work, in the gathering information, you have made some things that you may not be at liberty to speak openly about.
I don't like to lie. Lying defies reality. Though, sometimes you don't admit things. But no, I don't know of any wolf brothers there. They wouldn't be my brothers, really, anyway. Though we still call them that, they are long broken from being brothers. But no. But I will visit you there.
I would be honored.
I've got to run. I'm going to go follow the other one. I want to see where he's going.
I mean, he is going to the valley
That'll make it easier to find him.
with the other wolves.
Then I will listen to the screams. And he jumps up off the stick or the limb he's been sitting on, and he just kind of flaps his wings, kind of holding in the air for a second. I see you again when the current takes me there.
If you happen to be traveling west before coming down, if you would indulge me and let me know which screams were still screaming at the end.
I will describe it. I will share that information. I like that. Yes, yes. And then the bird just takes off. And I assume you find a bird to tell Snatcher, what you originally going to tell Snatcher?
Yep.
Okay. And now we're going to flash to the village. Is Augustine going in alone? Or not village, the small city, oversized town? Klausenberg. We'll just call it Klausenberg.
Yeah, the little wannabe city.
Is two questions. Is Augustine going in alone? And are your troops visible as you're going in?
No. I would want to go in alone. But I would probably have Peregrine or Snatcher with me.
Okay.
Not a problem.
I'd suggest take Peregrine.
Yeah, Snatcher's getting his rats to scurry in and leave some pitch in advantageous places.
You're having your rats drag clay jars of pitch?
And then, deposit it in key locations.
Yeah.
Stuff that looks like, maybe it wouldn't get
It's
that
in
much
small clay
fire.
jars so they can carry it.
Rats can actually drag things pretty well.
They can.
But also just because Peregrine's an actual combatant, whereas Snatcher would just be futzing around until he got someone dead.
And Elena's giving
Just a delicate
giving
flower.
orders.
So I have one other question to the orders. Do you have a set time before the troops are going to come, or are you waiting for Augustine to come out?
I am waiting for Augustine to come out. That is the trigger that she has told the closest general to where the gate is for the city.
He's got a war horn.
Yeah.
It doesn't have it has a wall.
Right.
But it's a wooden wall. It's not a very good.
Right. It's a palisade, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like, once you see this gentleman step away from the wall back to us, blow the horn.
Yes, mistress.
That will order the attack and archers to fire their lit arrows.
Do we want to allow him to be safely out before we fire the lit arrows, or is...
Yes.
It will be done. I will pass the word.
Thank you.
Are we going to be scouting and seeing if we can handpick any of the more useful mortals from the city, or just...
No, they all die.
Fortunately, my lord, when we unleash the troops and they get the scent of blood, they have been bred to not stop until nothing is moving.
They will all die.
It's very simple, Snatcher. All the useful humans are with us.
Exactly. These attacked us. Or their brothers, their fathers, their cousins, their uncles, their friends attacked us. They die.
The best part about all of these is that even though it is in fact our vengeance that we are unleashing here on this warm little hamlet, all of them belong to Radu. So it's him enforcing his law.
Exactly.
Snatcher's not going to say anything else, but Storyteller, since he is now fully aware that he is not only like an accomplice to, but he is taking an active part in a massacre.
Oh yes,
I feel my
it's going to be a
going
massacre.
To be suffering a bit.
Yeah.
There'll be
But
several people violating.
You're muted.
There's going to be several people violating paths this night, other than
will-
Miguel, who's not there.
And Elena not, because, yeah.
Snatcher's at 6. Wanton destruction.
Oh yeah.
That's a 5. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're going to.
He's not going to change his course of action, but just know that he is going to be thinking like, I'm gonna be a complete monster tonight, apparently. So he's preparing himself for the eventual backlash, essentially.
Yeah, I think
He already feels terrible about what he's about to do, but he's not going to stop.
I think I'm okay because 7 for me is behaving in an unjust manner, and I'm not at 7.
You're going in ahead of time to talk to someone. It's like a warning. That feels pretty damn just to me.
Yeah, you're giving
There you
them
go.
warning. They're not going to be able to escape, but you're giving them warning.
My lawyers have advised me that I am all right and will not have to make a humanity roll.
That's right. I won't
I'm gonna say, what is your current humanity at for you? 6?
Yeah, Path of Chivalry 6. I'm okay, I think.
Yeah, I think you can get past it. Well, I don't know. Failing to come to the aid of another, it's tied to it is your duty to protect the weak. You're going to have to make a conscience roll at the end of this one, I do believe.
Yeah, I see Augustine going Path of Night at some point.
Yes, at some point.
You'll have to make one.
He'll be so uncooperative once he goes that direction, though.
So,
if I consider them my enemy, are they still considered weak? Because my allies are who I
only
would
some
wanna
of the people in
protect.
the town did something to you.
Yeah, there's others that are just townies.
You're
I
talking
get you.
about
All right.
murdering women, children, a village
I'm-
put to the torch.
Okay,
In theory,
I'm okay.
You're okay. You'll just roll.
You'll deal with it.
I'll do it. I'll
Over
do it.
centuries, your humanity is going to go up and down and up
yeah.
and down.
Yeah.
Your path
Yeah.
will go up and down.
Yep.
hmm
Yep.
Right now, I want vengeance more than I want to hold on to.
Damn
Path of Chivalry.
straight. We are in full Lasombra glory right now.
Yeah, it's not humanity for you. It's technically chivalry
Yeah, it's chivalry for you.
Yep, for you.
Mine is Road of Kings.
Yep.
I'm good.
So you've gone back to the same tavern you were in that night. And once again, this place, it's not majorly busy. There's a dozen or so people. But when you come in the door, obviously the guy working the bar remembers you because he immediately takes a step back.
Nope. Oh, recognition.
I thought
So
you were
delicious.
gone and left these lands.
You know, I did as well. And then one event led to another, and I found myself cursed with misfortune. And everything brings me back to the one night when I was here and how everything came out of our interaction with each other, my friend.
Our protector is not going to be happy to hear you've returned. He was very upset at your actions last time.
He was upset at our actions. He was upset that we stayed here, that we sought some comfort from the sun.
Know that you killed one of his in this city without permission.
Oh, that's right. I did kill one of you for that slight against me. Such a shame. I hope that he does not overreact to me staying here again. Are we going to have an issue? And I walk up right to the bar in front of him.
Make a roll real quick. As you get closer to the bar, he steps back further from the bar. You know I can't stop you. But I can tell you, if you stay here, I can't guarantee your safety. You have already broken the safety of the hearth once. I can't promise our guardian will not come here to repay that violation in kind.
You know, I'm new to this area, but that sounds very much to me like a threat. I don't take kindly to being threatened, my friend. I don't know how to tell you that.
I don't make threats.
I'm going to summon my arms out of the shadows behind him so he is pushed towards me as I draw my sword and stab him through the heart.
Give me your, let's go with, I'm not going to have you roll for your control of the arms for this one, but give me your dex melee.
You got it.
That's just an awesome move.
Fuck yeah, it is.
I got one trick, guys.
Because
Let me do it.
you can't control and concentrate in a fight. But if you're just holding your blade out and all you're doing is
It's pushing
concentrating
him into it.
on the arms to pull somebody in, that's not actually violating or not splitting your roll. You're just holding your sword and using the arms to kind of onto something.
Yeah. I'm going to use a willpower point to reroll 3 of those dice.
At some point in the future, Vlad Tepes is going to be very impressed by this kind of a move.
I summon my feet from the end of my recliner to kick.
Yes. Yes. 6 successes.
That is more than enough. As you run him through, he gets a garbled kind of, first there was the shock of the arms, because though he is used to the legends of the vampires and his guardians, he's used to Zimitzi, not La Sombra. He's not seen the evil of darkness come after them, the touch of oblivion itself. The other patrons in the place begin to scream and panic and bolt from the place the moment they see the arms. You hear him talking about demon worship, monsters.
Please, no, please. I have plenty of arms for everyone else. Line up, please.
They're not stopping for that. They're running like hell, screaming. And you hear them screaming to arms as they're running through the street.
Elena is literally hearing the screams and she is laughing.
Oh, you hear
hard.
the commotion. At first, you don't hear anything. Then you start hearing, you can't make out what's being said. And then you hear a bell ring.
And she is just watching, waiting for Augustine to bring his ass back out.
Yep. I'm just gonna, run out of the city, dragging this guy along, because I now have a Happy Meal.
And you'll notice that some of the people, there's a crowd gathering, but they're hanging way the fuck back from you as they're waiting for more, as the crowd is slowly increasing, as people are waking up the local
good.
Militia.
Good.
Yeah.
Center of the city. Perfect. The city can burn
'Cause,
around them.
This city has very few standing guards. Most of them would be merchants and shit that grab weapons in case of an issue. So they're trying to get the people together, but that takes time in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So they're hanging way back.
I'm gonna help them. Because I'm gonna be screaming or yelling as I run towards the gate. Please, ladies and gentlemen, do not go against Radu's wishes. This is a show of strength. Line up, please, to be killed in foundry order. Please, thank you.
That gets all kinds of mutters.
Augustine, you have such a way with people. I'm
sure
learned it.
impressed
You
at this
yelling
right
at
now.
Elena,
Elena.
Peregrine, and Snatcher. Yes, Peregrine's been with you the whole time, just invisible.
Mhm.
But I'm sure
Yeah.
Elena and Snatcher can hear you telling the crowd to line up to be killed.
Yes.
Yeah, Snatcher's just slack-jawed. Not so much in horror, but just shocked. Just, this
And you
motherfucker's
hear
doing this.
some of the crowd yelling, "Get the torches!" as they're grabbing torches.
And they can hear Elena just laughing and cackling.
I will say you are being followed by a stereotypical Transylvanian torch-wielding, pitchfork fucking
Peasantry.
peasants coming after you. Yes.
Excellent.
Hey,
Because
we need to experience it at least once.
The second he
second-
is clear of the fucking city, the attack is on. You hear the horn.
Not even. The second I get to the gate, I drop a shroud of just darkness. Go ahead and follow me, please. Bring your torches.
They get to their gate, and that's when they notice the horn. They hear the horn and notice the monsters moving from where they've been crouched in the darkness. They've gotten enough torch. They don't see anything right away. All they see is movement, which kind of starts to make them panic a little bit. But because they're mockeries of werewolves, what they're seeing, they think they're seeing a wolf pack outside the city, which they're kind of used to because of Mitru. But as soon as they get into the torchlight, what they actually see is not wolves. It's the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And then the flaming arrows come, and the monsters don't care about the flaming arrows. They begin to rip into the peasantry. I'm not going to get too graphic, but we will go with carnage ensues.
Yeah, and the city is left asunder.
There is screaming. There are people running. It's not doing me any good. Some try to make a break for the forest. That is where the scouts come in that quickly run them down. The pitch, which has been spread everywhere, you can't hit the pitch with the arrows. but the buildings catch fire because of thatch roofs, and
Like
eventually
the
the pitch gets caught and ignited
By design.
by design. I have this mental image of the pitch jars having small holes in them so that the pitch slowly leaks out. So there's trails of pitch through the city, and then, jars that it leads to.
I will happily accept that design.
I mean, that would be how you would have them leak, because otherwise it's just sitting in jars. I assume competency. And the city burns this night. I said Miguel is half a night's ride away.
He can probably see the glow.
Half a day, yeah. It's
Half a
probably
day?
a bright orange horizon.
Considering you're in the time when there was no night or no light pollution, yeah, the glow on the horizon is visible from the direction of Klausenberg. As Elena and Augustine come to collect their,
Retribution.
I'm going to say, collect their fee for the ferryman,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of souls got sent into the beyond this night. And I think right here, everybody.
I think the bird should show up.
Nope, the bird wasn't going that way. The bird was too busy watching to go and.
No, the other bird.
His messenger bird, not Longling.
Well, what was the messenger Miguel was sending? What was the message?
Letting him know that Mitru and his child wolf were dealing with a apparent werewolf problem, and not able to engage at the moment.
That would have arrived as we're at the what would be called the mop-up phase of the city, because unfortunately they only had 2 gates in and out, and once the monsters got inside, nobody could get out through the gates. You probably lost half your troops to fire, though.
Oh, of course we did, but that's, hey, sacrifice.
The troops never ran, even when they were getting in the fire. They did not turn to run out.
Use that to their advantage to burn people. Yeah.
That'll be in our report to Radu.
Yes. And she gives instruction for the general that she's been speaking with to give report to Radu that his troops did well. And we are pleased.
I think this is where we're going to end our season finale, with the city burned to the ground. Miguel finding out a little bit about where Mitru went, which means he's going to come back to the city and his domain gone.
Yes.
Which also means his feeding grounds are generally gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think this kindred's going to have some lost sleep over the matter. I'm pretty sure these Canaanites here are going to go,
fuck you and your child too.
Mm-hmm.
If you survive the werewolf sept.
If. And I'd like to thank the players and the viewers. This was our season finale. It's a season finale. I should give y'all more than 3 experience for a season finale. Let's see. We finished the season. That's worth 1. And fuck it, 5 XP. Just cause. Why not? It's the end of the
I'll
season.
take that.
Shit, don't mess with Augustine. He brings out those arms and just pushes you into
Now,
his sword.
I am going to say, so everybody aware, actually our next season is going to be about 50 years from now.
Where we are set up in our city.
Where they've been set up in their city. So we're going to do our first big jump in time. 50 years, half a century. Which for Kindred is a blink of an eye.
Mm-hmm.
So be ready to find out next season. Probably the whole first episode is going to be what they've been up to for 50 years. I'm not just going to leave y'all hanging with no idea what they're up to. But of course, wait for the schedule. You need to hear the schedule. And I know some people ditch as soon as we get to this point. Let me tell you, next week is the live cast Q&A. That'll be your chance to come and ask this cast. Any questions you have from the season, we will answer it live on camera.
Absolutely.
And it is a good way for you to get our feelings, our actual true feelings on what happened, how frustrated they were. They didn't get to burn everybody down like they wanted to, lost their werewolves. They got away. They didn't get to murder the ratkin. There was a lot of blue balls up until the end. So be here next week for sure.
Yeah, there was some vengeance edging going on. Yeah.
Wow, that's okay. We'll go with
Foreplay
that.
is an integral part of the fun,
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So
They
be here
even
next
if
week
it's
for that.
frustrating.
For those not aware, after our live Q&A, we're going to take a month off, 4 weeks.
Yep.
Season 2 will not return until 4 weeks after next week. So that puts it, I'm even going to let people know now. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. It's looking like we'll be back around September 13th.
Yep. And if you cannot join us for the live Q&A, you can join us on our Discord and post in the Dark Ages chat for your questions. And I, as moderator of the live Q&A, will make sure that your questions are answered live on stream.
And our bot is not connected at all tonight.
What the hell?
It is probably needs a re-auth. So not going to be a lot of good links. I can post up some, though. That's what happens. There was a reboot.
It says API error.
Yeah, it's got to get a re-auth.
Okay.
It's not connected. That's what happens sometimes. So, sorry we don't get to put all of our normal links. I guess that's going to make our exit pretty fucking quick, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But I will link this. Yeah, I'm going to put a link to the Discord anyway right here.
Okay.
I can do that. As soon as I can get it to fucking highlight the thing. You can also click our panels. And if you're watching it on YouTube, you can click down in the description of the video and you can find out. So come on, copy the link. Thank you. There you go. I can at least get our link.
Yes. And we, of course, do have a YouTube where you can catch all the back episodes of this stream and all the other streams that we have. So please check that out as well. You can, if you aren't already following us there, please give us a follow and a subscribe on YouTube because it is free. And if you engage with our videos and comment, trust me, that helps us show up easier in the search.
So since we're going through abbreviated, join us on the Discord, go to our YouTube, catch our back episodes. Bits and donations, those go to the players. If you want to give something to the players for this whole first season, you can do it now. You can also do it during our Q&A. If you want to give something to the studio, if you want to give bits here, go down to our panels at the bottom of this Twitch screen. There is a donations link right there that you can go to give donations. Bits are through Twitch. If you want to give something to studio, pop over to our Ko-fi or subscribe on Twitch. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't. Hey, the bot, because it had to be restarted, it kind of did weird things. I'll fix them later.
Okay.
I'll fix that tonight. Hey, it happens sometimes. Welcome to doing it live, people. So I'm trying to think of anything else. Nope. My wife will give the schedule. We'll just jump straight to that.
So coming up over the next week, we have on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, Call of Cthulhu, 7E, London Esoteric Society, set around 1900 in London. These investigators are investigating all the sus-ass shit and reading the books that make them insane. You want to catch them out at 3 p.m. Eastern, Saturday. And then on Sunday, from noon till approximately 10 p.m. Eastern, roughly, it depends on how many episodes there are in this marathon stream. We are doing
about
about 4 episodes.
4 episodes of marathon.
Yeah.
Session, yep.
So we are doing the marathon of Windy City After Dark. We are now into season 2. So you want to join that and just check it out. You can have it running in the background while you're doing stuff on Sunday, for real.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, just come and go as you please because it's going to be running that whole time. And then we'll be back here next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for our live Q&A.
Yep. Where we'll not only get questions from the viewers, we'll have questions for each other.
Yep.
And we'll talk about our full, unbiased opinions of how this season went.
Yeah.
It's a new show, so I'm sure people have opinions.
I fucking love this character.
Of course she does. She has burnt the town to the ground.
Fuck yeah.
And had everybody in it killed.
She's a bitch and a half. I love her.
I'm just going to leave that where it is. So now we'll go around and let people talk about who they are, where you can find them. This week we're going to start with Chew will love it there. The Ravnos Archon.
Ooh, what's up, everybody? I'm the Ravnos Archon. I have trouble with the English words, apparently, but I run my own channel here on Twitch. I do Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition on Mondays. It's a 2-part story following us about not us about coterie. Jesus. Anarch coterie and a Camarilla coterie. They have to deal with Sabbat, so they're on my mind. This Tuesday, we're coming back with L5R, and then my Tuesdays are split up between Legend of the Five Rings and Werewolf of the Wild West. And then every other Thursday, I run the 7th Sea campaign, which is fantastic. And I think I finally found a game that I want to run in concordance with it, which is Old Gods of Appalachia. But I got to pick some brains about that. So, but that might be on the horizon somewhere. And then you can catch me here as Augustine.
It's funny you mentioned Old God of Appalachia. I'm also talking about doing a mini series of it on our channel. So if you're part of our Discord, keep an eye out because I'll be doing a casting call for that. Because yeah, we're gonna have to get some of that going. That's a good game. Zach, let everybody know where to find you, what you're up to.
I can be found on the internets at Zach Rules. Easiest place to find me is my website because I can keep that going, and I'm not relying on anybody to be functionally managing a social media platform with competence, because that's apparently something that you need, and it's not happening. So yeah, ZachRules.com. There's the link in there. Go click on. It's got links to all my writing streams, and if you want to find me on socials, as long as those socials still exist, there's links to that too.
Hop over, get his links, go over and see what he's got at Drive-Thru and Storyteller's Vault, those kind of things, because, you know, Zach's a writer. He makes some good supplements out there. So, Junie, let everybody know where to find you.
You can find me pretty much on the internet because that's where I live. I'm on almost all of the apps. I just joined Blue Sky a little bit ago as Junie Von Esch. You can find me here. You can find me on the RPG table. You can find me on Ravenous Archons. You can find me on Roll Call. And you can find me on my own Twitch channel. I'm also a moderator of Cajun Nice Discord, where it's a play-by-post server for all of your World of Darkness needs.
And I just have to say this for Maddox. Maddox, go ahead and tell people where to find you because I find it fun.
Currently, you can find me in the basement.
Or outside a burning town.
Or outside of
burning town. Yeah, or warming my hands by the fire.
Way back because of Rosh
burn a fortnight.
Way back because of Rosh Shrek. Way back.
Oh, yeah. That's why it's good to stand at the edge of a town when it's burning.
And you can find him also if you go to our YouTube on our Demon.
Uh-huh.
He was in both seasons of Demon. You can find him in some episodes of Windy City as Alessandro Giovanni. The first Monster Hearts, you can find him there. Yeah, Maddox's been around on our channel. You'll find his face on a number of our streams, so just go check those out. And as always on this, unfortunately, I can't do our need help because our bot's not working right now, but I am going to still say the same thing because I don't care if the bot's working. Everybody, mental health, it's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. Please take your mental health seriously. Take your own and the mental health of others seriously. And, reach out to people around you, make sure they're okay. A lot of people aren't. It just takes a lifeline, a helping hand, somebody listening. And if you are somebody who suffers from mental health, like many of mental health issues, if you suffer from mental health, that's a mood. Please, it's okay to not be okay. Please check in on those around you, make sure they're okay, because I can tell you a lot of people aren't. And, I didn't even put the URL in right. Trying to do this while I'm talking. If you, see, I'm trying to fix this. This is what happens when I have to screw it up.
I'll do it. You talk, I'll do it.
There you go. I got it.
Okay.
There you go. And if you're not in the U.S., go to findahelpline.com. That is a website. Even if you're in the U.S., since we can't put up our normal links, go to findahelpline.com, plug in your country of origin, get your help that you need. There'll be a professional on the other end of the line to talk you through it and to help you out. Because, hey, everybody, mental health is health. We want you to be around. We want you to be okay. And before I turn this over to my wife, I want to say good job, Ohio.
Absolutely. It was called with 27% of votes calculated. It was a landslide no on issue 1 in Ohio.
came to 57% to 43%. So
Yeah, but that was with the rest of the state. They called it at 27% in because literally all the votes outstanding in the state still could not have made it pass.
So
Yeah.
good job. You've upheld the will of the voters.
Thank you so much, Ohio voters, for real. That sets another precedent. Kansas did it by enshrining abortion rights into their constitution. You guys have done it by not letting Republicans take away your right as a voter to make changes to your state's constitution.
That is the part that bothered me about it is it doesn't matter what party you are. You don't want the politicians to be able to ignore freely the will of voters.
The will of the people.
Everyone should have been against it. In fact, 43% voted to give up their own rights.
That just shows that Republicans literally vote against their own fucking interests.
Yep. That's sad because you're giving up the rights to make amendments to your own
Authoritarian
state.
power.
All to own the other side. That's horrifying.
Yeah. They will literally usher in fascism just so they can get the libs.
Yeah, yeah. So good job, Ohio.
Thank you, Ohio voters. Thank you for turning out. And thank you to the young voters in Ohio for coming out for a random ass special fucking election for this.
One of the colleges, I think, the one that's in Jim Jordan's district.
Yeah, voted
98%,
like 98%
voted against it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Young voters are going to kill the GOP.
Yep. So,
as more and more get of age to vote, they are going to kill the GOP.
So listen, get out there and vote. Get your voice heard.
Absolutely. And young people fucking register to vote. Please.
Yep. Now, Mom can do the rest of her thing. I just had to bring up Ohio because...
Yeah. No, so much love to Ohio voters right now. And so much love to those folks in Montgomery, Alabama, whooping those people's asses. They deserve what they got. Love to y'all. And yeah, for real. But seriously, y'all, take care of yourselves. Look out for your neighbors too. You know, don't allow assholes to treat people like shit. For real. And take care of yourselves. Take care of your health, your well-being, both mentally and physically. And look out for each other because we do not get through this life alone.
Everybody be Mr. Rogers in your neighborhood, okay?
Fucking for real.
Be a good neighbor.
And be kind. Nicest performance.
That's right.
Said with love.
And I do thank everyone for coming. I've enjoyed the first season of this for a game I've never run and an era I haven't memorized. I think I enjoyed it. So I do thank you all for coming. Good night, people. We will see you, hopefully, for the Cast Q&A.